Hey everybody, I'm back with news you can use. It has been observed that watching the Fed handle school reopening is like watching the Ministry of Magic deal with the return of Voldemort. I like that analogy. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos doubled down Sunday on her call to fully reopen schools and have children return to learning full-time in person by the fall, an effort that has been championed by President Trump. She repeatedly dodged questions during Sunday morning interviews on CNN and Fox about how reopening could be done safely. Representative Ayanna Pressley tweeted on Sunday afternoon, "Betsy DeVos, you have no plan. I wouldn't trust you to take care of a houseplant, let alone my child." I would have to say I agree with Representative Pressley's assessment. We haven't seen any type of leadership from the SecEd on anything other than giving funds to private or charter schools and funneling that money away from public schools. Just in case you missed it, on Monday, 17 states and the District of Columbia filed lawsuit against the Trump administration, seeking to halt a new federal rule that strips international students of their visas if their coursework is done entirely online in the fall. Then on Tuesday, the Trump administration agreed to rescind those rules, a rare reversal by the government on immigration policy. This is the type of short-sighted educational leadership that we are languishing under currently in the United States. One senator feels that reopening schools is being politicized. Yeah, you doing it. Senator John Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, said during a Monday evening interview with Fox News, "America's going through a rough patch right now. Some people seem to be enjoying it. Maybe they hate America. Maybe they just like watching the world burn. I think some are liking the chaos because they think it gives them a political advantage. Part of that chaos is caused by schools closing. For our kids, we need them to open. There are some people who want to keep our schools closed because they think it gives them a political advantage. They're using our kids as political pawns. To them, I say unashamedly, they can kiss my ass." He did go on to say there are some people who have good faith disagreements with his position. Down to Texas. Houston ISD released their plan on the 15th, saying that they will start online 100% on September 8th, and that will run for 6 weeks until Friday, October 16th, 2020. They will look to see if they can go online and in person on October 19th, but they told parents that they should be aware that things could change. Dallas Superintendent Michael Hinojosa, with leaders of school districts in Fort Worth and HEB ISD, that is the Hearst, Euless, Bedford School District, y'all, not the grocery store, sent a letter to Governor Greg Abbott last week on behalf of 40 school districts in Texas, asking that the state allow districts to start with full online learning. That hurdle for some districts has been cleared. DISD still has one more hurdle to clear. They say that a significant number of their students are without internet at this time. I would like to talk about a retraction or the hope thereof. TEA offices will not be closed down until January 2021. I will read the following statement. Commissioner Mike Morath and other Texas Education Agency staff whose job duties require them to be in the office have been working from the William B. Travis building since March, just as they did before the pandemic hit. As has been planned for many weeks, the TEA have the ability to return to the building on a voluntary basis this month. It has been reported also that there has been a skeleton crew there this whole time of 30. The statement goes on to say, based on local public health conditions, the individual family needs of our team, and the agency organizational needs, we are currently determining additional next steps for our staff for later this summer and beyond. As of July 13th, the TEA website says, to ensure the safety of the public and the Texas educational staff arising from COVID-19 concerns, we are available by appointment only at this time. It's almost like they don't want a lot of people in one space, like a classroom. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Locally, on Tuesday, Austin ISD released a statement saying it would be suspending in-person instruction for the first 3 weeks. Thank you so very much, Dr. Escott. Leander ISD said it was strongly leaning toward 3 weeks of online learning. Round Rock ISD and other districts have sent a similar letter requesting the following. Suspend in-person school until the 7-day average hospitalization rate is 5 or less, or we're back down to stage 2. provide additional funding to supplement costs incurred by districts, aka give us the CARES money back. And 3, suspend STAR and the A through F grading system of the 2021 school year. If I were still a K through 12 teacher, I would go back to 1970 and I would give the Texas Education Agency a U- for very unsatisfactory. Local public health officials will be able to keep Texas schools closed for in-person instruction this fall without risking state education funding. A Texas Education Agency spokesperson confirmed to the Texas Tribune on Wednesday. Last week, TEA released an order requiring schools to open their buildings to in-person instruction 5 days a week for all students who want it. The order gave districts a transition period of 3 weeks, but TEA on Wednesday said they would continue to fund school districts if local health officials order them to stay closed, as long as they offer remote instruction for all students. That's good news, y'all. Governor Abbott told the Houston television station this week that the state would ease up on stringent reopening requirements as coronavirus cases and hospitalizations skyrocket across Texas. I have an announcement. Austin ISD is going to be having a reopening information session that's going to take place on Wednesday, July 22nd from 9 to 10:30. That will be talking about at-home distance teaching and learning, on campus face-to-face teaching and learning, and safety protocols. That will be on Thursday, July 23rd, noon to 1:30. You can see this streamed on AISD TV, Channel 22, Facebook Live, and there will be consecutive Spanish interpretations. Questions can be submitted in advance on the Padlet app. Participants can also submit questions live during the event. For more information, please contact Courtney Liebig, or Liebig, I apologize if I've gotten your name incorrect, at Courtney, COURTNEY.Liebig, LIEBICH, at austinisd.org. Finally, I want to answer a question for you from the video that was produced by Austin ISD, a sort of Q&A between the superintendent and the board president. The question is as follows from Ms. Jocelyn Vokes, quote, Dr. Cruz, a lot of parents have been wondering, I've been seeing a lot of chatter on social media that they're saying just, jump ship, go ahead and just go homeschooling. What would you say the benefits are for AISD at-home learning versus parents trying to take on homeschooling alone? Early part of next week, I'm going to put out a video called The Difference Between Homeschooling and At-Home Learning, and the benefits of both and how you actually go about doing both. The answer that Dr. Cruz gave, I will post below. You may be asking yourself, why do you get to answer this question? I don't get to answer this question for anybody else other than myself. I am asking you as reasonable, logical people to listen to my assertion, my argument. If you know me, you know that I'm a proponent of parental choice. If a charter school or a private school is where your child needs to be successful, then, may the road rise up to meet you, the wind be at your back always, right? If you decide that homeschooling is what you need to do for your baby, then I'm like, okay, same blessing. But, and here's a big but, there's more to homeschooling than unenrolling your child. There are legalities involved, and there is a curriculum that has to be followed. And then your progress has to be reported. I mean, you're taking on something big. And if you have the time, great. If you don't, let's talk through this, right? So if you unenroll your child and you decide after the COVID stuff or in a year or two, my kid will return to public schools, your child is going to return to a district with significantly less resources. How does that work? It's funding. We've talked about this before. Butts in seats. We can't give butts in seats, but there is a way that the district is taking attendance virtually, right? Even if you're on the asynchronous or the synchronous method, there's a way. If you go back and check out the video on the TEA funding and attendance policies, I did a video about that. That will help you understand it a little bit better. It might feel like school finance is really big, and it is. But here's the simple fact for you, the everyday parent, for me, the everyday parent. If your kid is there, the district receives funds. If your kid is not there, we don't receive funds. And I say we as meaning the public school. To be clear, school funding is not based on enrollment. That's the number of people that are supposed to be going to the school. It is based on average daily attendance, or ADA, the number of students that show up. So if your student is not enrolled, they cannot be counted for ADA. If they cannot be counted for ADA, the district will lose funding. It's that simple. Okay, research, do your due diligence, and then make your choice. That's your prerogative as a parent. I'm just asking you to think through that process. If you say, hey, we're going to stick with AISD, we're going to hire a teacher, we're going to start a learning pod, or we're going to start a social emotional learning pod, great. All those things are fantastic. Your kid is still counted among the Austin ISD students. But if you say, no, we're just going to unenroll our child, hire a teacher, and then we'll take it from there, that's going to cost the district and you ultimately. So when you make your decision, make it wisely. And again, I will wish you the very best in whatever you decide as a parent. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.